Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Ina alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to another session of our Sunnahfollowers Ramadan prep series. And this is the series wherein we speak about Ramadan, how to prepare for Ramadan. And as you guys should know, the way to prepare for Ramadan is not by fasting, but instead, the way to prepare for Ramadan is by preparing your home and preparing yourself physically and preparing yourself mentally. And that's what we've been speaking about. And also reviewing with your family members the different etiquettes and the different sunnahs of fasting. And we're going to review this stuff during the month of Ramadan every day. If you guys stick with me, stick with my website, I'll get you through each day of fasting. You know, all the topics will center around fasting and what we're supposed to be doing each day. So please stay tuned in like you guys usually do to my website from this moment on. Okay, and yesterday when we met, I'm going to give you a quiz because we spoke about people who are sick, which is a lot of questions that people have about being sick when they fast. And also we discussed the intentions of fasting. Let's look at the questions. First of all, who can tell us how does Islam define an elderly person? Is that any woman that's over the age of 50? By the way, guys, I meant to talk about this a little bit more yesterday. There's a lot of Muslims here in America that were told that when a woman reaches an elderly age, she no longer has to wear hijab. Have you guys heard that? I'm sure you have. That is not correct. And the only people that are told that nonsense are Muslims in the West, from people who are uneducated about Islam. If we understood how Allah defines an elderly person, there is no woman on this planet who would want to fall into that category. You know, so let's start with this question. How does Islam define a person who is elderly? Is it a certain age or what? Anyone, go ahead.
No. A person who is like elderly is a person who lived a long life on this earth, and their body is like basically like breaking down to the point where they're not able to like perform simple tasks like going to the bathroom, putting on their shoes, moving from one area to another, and performing like simple actions such as like picking up an item takes the energy out of them. And it's not based on age, it's based on like how long the person lived on this earth and their health.
Exactly. Perfect definition. Okay. It's not based on age, but instead it is based on the person's health. Okay. Elderly person, they can't perform simple tasks. Getting up out the bed is a hardship. Getting up from the bed is draining. These people have no energy. And simple tasks, as she said, that involve movement, take a whole lot out of them. These are people that can't even work, guys. because it's draining. These are people that can't even stay awake. You know, each day they get closer to death. Let me put that in there. These people get each day of their life brings them closer to death. So as a result, they lack the energy to survive as a normal person would. A normal, healthy person would. Does everybody understand that? Does everybody understand that? So it's not, you know, and people age differently depending on what part of the world that you come from. It's not a mystery that people that live in the Middle East, you look at a person that's 50 in the Middle East and a person that's 50 in America, and you see the difference. The person that's 50 in America looks like they're 20. The person that's 50 from the Middle East looks 100. You know, so different parts of the world, the climate, you know, that plays a factor in the people's health. You know, so it's not determined by age. You know, there's some people that come from colder areas. You know, they look younger than the people that come from more arid areas. Even here in America, people from the East Coast, they look younger usually than the people from the West, okay? Because the West has the heat, the East has the cold. You know, the cold, the people from the East are paler in color than the people from the West. So climate and all of that stuff plays a factor in how people age. So it's not based on how old you are. It's based on your health, your physical health, and also how you take care of yourself. Some people drink, some people do drugs. These people age faster, you know, than other people who don't. People that smoke cigarettes, they age faster. Their body becomes torn down, you know, so it's not about an age. And as far as a woman taking off her hijab and not wearing it, you would never want to fall in that category. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the women who do not have to wear hijab anymore are those women who are so elderly and so weak that if you saw her naked walking down the street, a man would not be moved to no desire. He would just simply look at her and take pity on her and say, somebody help that old woman back to her home. Now, do any of you women want to fall in that category where you are so old, so worn out looking that if a man saw you standing up naked, he would not desire you? He'd have no need for you. He'd just say, wow, poor, old, helpless, degenerate woman. So I don't know any of you women who fall in that category because I've met and seen most of you here. None of you sisters in my website look like that. If you women took off your clothes and stood outside, you know, you wouldn't be looking like a hag where people would drive by in their car and just shake their head and say, where's the nursing home? Here's a woman that done escaped from a nursing home. Those are the type of women that don't have to put a hijab on or even wear anything. So do you women want to fall in that category? You women? That's what childbearing years means in English. Remember, Arabic is a different language. A woman past childbearing years. That does not mean that she can't have children. A woman past childbearing years is a woman that can't have sex because she's so haggard. She's so dried up. She's so wrinkled and drawn up that no man would want to have any desire to touch her. That's what childbearing, beyond childbearing means, years mean in English. It means no sex. You no longer appeal to any male sexually. Now, do any of you women listening to me want to fall in that category? Get on the mic. Do you? Is that how you want to be, Sabrine?
No way.
Is that how any of you women want to be? You elderly women who think that in English, in America, you think that elderly means I'm 50. No, that's not what elderly means in Arabic. It means you are past having sex. You turn no man on. If you stood up here butt naked, the men would run from you and go get the police and say, please put this old woman in that nursing home she came from. That's what that's what beyond childbearing years means in English. It means beyond sex having years. Now, we do have some women who fall in that category. But how many of you don't fall in that category? So you better keep those hijabs on. Y'all understand that? It's not based on an age. It's not based on whether you had a hysterectomy. I know some women who are in their 20s and had hysterectomies, and they say, well, I'm beyond childbearing years, so I don't have to cover up. I ran into a few sisters like that, and I said, are you out your mind? Do you know what childbearing years means in English? It means no man would want to have sex with you. You're beyond sex years. If I was to translate those hadiths, I would use better English. And the English I would use is you're beyond sex years. So you better go home, you better cover your body and put a hijab on and pray you don't die in that state, because you die in a state of disobedience to Allah. Does every woman here understand? So I don't want to ever hear any of you women say that you don't cover your body because you can't have children. Because it's not about whether you can have kids or not. It's about whether you sexually are appealing. If you got that skin hanging off you, y'all know how the hags look. How many of you work in nursing homes? Y'all know how they look. Breasts hanging down to the ground, looking like a cow that needs to be milked. Don't no man like that. Bent over, back crooked, shaky, you can't even stand up. Are you like that woman? Well, if you are, then you don't have to worry about wearing a hijab. But if you ain't, you better shut it up and obey your Lord. Any questions on that? You ain't never had a daya break it down like that, have you? It's because they don't know how to speak proper English. They read the hadiths in Arabic and don't know how to translate it properly into the English language. SubhanAllah. You don't hear Arabic women going around saying that. Only these women from the West. Okay, let's look at the next question. So that's the answer. Let's put it back up here on the screen. How does Islam define elderly? Didn't I put it up there? Well, why is it not saved? Oh, here it is. Let me save it. There. A person whose body is breaking down to the point of performing simple tasks such as going to the bathroom and the likes becomes a difficulty, is a great difficulty. It is not based on age, but instead it is based on the person's health. Getting up from the bed is draining. These people have no energy, and simple tasks that involve movement take a whole lot out of them. These people, each day of their life brings them closer to death. So as a result, they lack the energy to survive as a normal, healthy person would. So these type of people, if you fall in this category, the elderly, do they have to fast? If you fall in the category of being the elderly, do they have to fast, guys? And
No.
if not, what do they do?
They pay the ransom.
Okay. Okay, so and we talk more about the ransom. I need to know what a ransom is. What's a ransom? I kidnap you and make your family pay
No.
you the money?
No, they
Tell me
can,
what it is.
they can feed a Muslim, a hungry Muslim or family, or, you know, that's Muslim that needs food, that has no food, or, you know. That's the first thing I would come up with.
Okay, so these people do not have to fast. But instead, for each day that they cannot fast, they must feed. They must feed a needy person. And how much do they feed them? A full course meal. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So what you would do living here in America, you would contact your local masjid, ask them how much the ransom is. They'll tell you $10 a day or $5 a day. Do I just give the money to somebody, or do I have to go buy some food for them? Excuse me, who can answer that?
You can just give the money to somebody.
I can do what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, sweetie.
Give the money to somebody, like at the mosque or something, if they're collecting for them. Or give it to that person specifically.
Okay, if the mosque or an organization is collecting money to buy food for these people, you can give it to an organization. But do I just give the money to somebody, or do I have to buy food? Anyone else?
So you have to buy food for them.
Yes.
Because that's what Ramadan is. You give food.
Okay, the money can be given to an organization that specializes in buying food for such needy people, Muslim people. Let me put Muslim, because I don't know why we got Muslims who are so worried about Kafirs, you know, who specializes in buying food for such needy Muslims. But if not an organization, you understand, Shamsa? If it's not an organization,
Yes.
you buy the food for them. And why is it, guys? Who can figure out why you buy the food for them? Why is it I don't just give the money, hey, to my next door neighbor who's Muslim, and say, hey, man, you know, I know you working 2 jobs, and I see you door dashing. I'm paying my ransom. Here's $10 for today. Why is it I can't just give him the money? It's common sense. Can you guys figure out why we have to, instead I would buy the food for him?
Because you never know what they're going to use it for.
Exactly. He can take
Yes.
that money and go out and buy some cigarettes with it. My next door neighbor is Muslim, but he smokes. He's from Somali too. Me and Fresno met him. Tall, handsome, Israel looking dude with a beard. Nice, long, handsome beard. But the brother smokes cigarettes because I'm always fussing at him. I'm like, good Lord, brother, you got this hallway stinking coming up them steps. I know, sister, I'm going to try to quit. You know, he might take that money and go out and buy a carton of cigarettes. No, you know, so you don't know what that person's going. They might take that money and pay their bills with. That's what I would do. If somebody gave me some money, y'all think I'm going to spend it on food? No, I'm going to put it on a couple of them credit cards and try to pay it off. So that's why you buy the food for them, guys, because you don't know what they're going to do with the money. They end up buying cigarettes with it or by paying their bills with it. And that's not what the prophet said do. He said buy food for them people, not pay their bills. Okay, everybody understand? So if you're going to give it to an organization that buys the food, that's okay. Like most mosques here in America, they have a committee of brothers who are in charge of taking the money, you know, for the needy Muslims, and they'll go out and buy meat, potatoes, vegetables, you know, and take it to the people so the people can cook a meal. You know, when I was married to Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli, y'all remember when Sheikh Atli used to be on this website? He would always do that. He would tell the people in his mosque, give me the money, because I know who the needy people are, and ain't nothing nobody can do with a bag of rice. And they don't know how to cook barley. Americans don't know what to do with no barley and grains. He would take that money and go out and buy chicken and fish, you know, potatoes, rice, green beans, vegetables, and take it to the needy people in his community. Does everybody understand? Okay, so that's why you do that. Okay, so that brings us to the next question. What is a senile? We talk about how senile people, when it comes to Ramadan, what's a senile person, and do they fast? Who can answer that? People who are senile. Who are people that are senile? And do they fast?
A senile person is someone whose mind is like severely declining, and they're very confused and unaware, like more than an average person. Basically, a person who's like suffering with like Alzheimer's. The senile person is not obligated to fast, and they don't have to like pay the ransom, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the pen is lifted for the mentally incompetent, so they're not held accountable for something that they weren't aware of.
Exactly. These are people whose mind has declined. They don't even know who they are. These are people with Alzheimer's and dementia. They don't know where they are, who they are, what year it is. The pen is lifted. Allah doesn't hold us accountable out of his mercy. He doesn't hold us accountable if we are not even aware of what's going on. So they don't have to fast. They have no memory and are not obligated to fast nor pay a ransom. They don't have to do anything for Ramadan. They don't even know what Ramadan is. They can't even remember. Their memory might come at what day is it? Oh, Ramadan. Oh, well, what day is it? Oh, Ramadan. Oh, okay. Can you get my shoes? That's how they are. They don't know what's going on, you know. So these people are mentally incompetent. The pen is lifted for anyone who's mentally incompetent. What about this, guys? You have a child that is developmentally disabled. Does a developmentally disabled child have to fast or anything? If your child is developmentally disabled, he's autistic, the type of autism that is developmentally disabled, does he have to fast?
No, he doesn't.
Why
No,
not?
because he too has a mental, maybe a physical, chemistry, a brain disorder, and the pen is lifted for that person.
Exactly. Developmentally disabled children, guys, are not held accountable. That's the nice word we use nowadays. They're known as retarded. Y'all remember that nowadays using the word retarded is kind of considered, you know, not a good thing to say. But if a child is retarded or a person is retarded, the pen is lifted because they're incompetent. They may be able to talk like some of my clients were, you know, and all, they can talk and take care of themselves as far as bathe. They're independent with eating and bathing and stuff, but they're really not there. How old are you? 2. That's how you know that they're retarded. I mean, like my clients, I had some very high functioning clients. They went to work every day at their little job. You know, they come home and help with the cooking and cleaning in the cottage, and they could sit there and talk about the politics of the world. You see the news, President Trump, he ain't no good. Then I say, well, how old are you, honey? 2. You're not 2. You're 50 years old. I'm 2 years old. You know, they're really mentally challenged. So the pen is lifted for these people. Okay, there's different types of mental illnesses, guys. You know, you have developmentally disabled, and then you have people who are mentally ill with other type of mental illness, like both bipolarism and all that. So if you have a child that is developmentally disabled, that child does not have to fast, pray, wear hijab, or anything else, because their mind is not there. They don't know the purpose. They don't know right from wrong. They're innocent. Their hearts are innocent. They don't know good from evil, right from wrong. You can just.
So what about Down syndrome? Is that the same for that too?
Yeah, Down syndrome are developmentally disabled. Yeah, these are developmentally disabled people. They don't have a sense of anything. We can just teach them to think or say what we want them to say or think, but you know,
Right.
it's high enough function, but they don't know why. The pen is lifted. Okay, so those people are not held accountable. All right, let's see what else we got. Let me go to the next question here. Let me move this out the way. I don't know why this is doing. Move out the way. This Zoom gets in the way when I'm teaching. Can't see my screen for screen sharing. Okay, let's see. So these are people whose mind has declined. They have no memory, are not obligated to fast, nor pay a ransom. Okay, what about question number 4? True or false? A person does not have to have intentions to fast. Is that statement true or false? You do not have to have intentions to fast. True or false?
False.
Can you give me some more information? Wait a minute. Let's put false there. Now let's go to number 5. What are the Islamic rules concerning having intentions to fast, guys? That means you're going to tell me all about intentions to fast.
You have
Go on.
I was gonna say you have to have the intentions to fast the night before. The Prophet ﷺ said that there's no fast for a person without the intention, without them having the intentions the night before. Yeah.
And what else, guys? Tell me all the Islamic rules about intentions to fast. Is that it?
No, a person can also make an intention to fast for the whole month.
Yes.
Good job. Intentions to fast can be made for the one intention. Let me do it this way. One intention to fast can be made for the entire month. And now what's the rules on that? What are the rules?
She have her the woman have a menses, she have to do it all over again, make the intentions all over again.
Okay, if the fast becomes broken due to menses or what else?
Or travel.
Exactly, or travel. Then a new intention must be made. What else about the intentions? Y'all missed the main point of how do you make it?
Oh, I know it. The intention is not about just saying or doing some actions. The intention must come from your heart.
The intention is not said with words. Instead, the fact that you know Ramadan begins in the morning and you plan to fast, this is your intention. Exactly. We don't verbalize it. There's no certain supplications to make. This is innovation. I was looking on Facebook and I see a lot of people posting up all kind of supplications and all this stuff. You know, ain't nobody got time for all that crazy innovative drama. You know, there is no special supplication or any of that stuff. You know, in fact, you don't verbalize or vocalize your intentions to fast anyway. So be careful of people on Facebook posting up all this innovation. It's just ridiculous, some of the things they're posting up. Okay, let's look at the next question. Oh, wait a minute. Where's the one? This I had two of them. What about number 6? If a woman finishes her menses, what must she do in regards to the intentions?
She must renew her intentions.
Yeah, exactly. Renew them. Good job. And if a person travels and decides not to fast, what must he or she do in regards to their intentions?
Renew the
Same
intention.
thing, renew.
Exactly, renew. And I specified those 2 questions again because I want you guys to remember that. Some of you may have to go on a business trip or whatever, you know, and break your fast. So you have to renew your intentions when you start back to fasting again. Or you women who have babies or have to break your fast because of your menses, you have to renew. When you take your ghusl and stuff, you renew your intentions. Okay, any questions about any of those answers? Mashallah, you guys did pretty good. So now today, we're gonna get to the meat and the potato of it. As Khalid Yassin likes to say, we're gonna get to the meat and the potato. What are the things that break the fast? This is what we're gonna speak about today. Let me put the PowerPoint up here on the screen. And again, we're going to review all these things during Ramadan. So don't worry, each day I'm going to remind you of the things that break the fast and all that. So don't worry. But today we're going to just go over briefly what are some of the things that break the fast. Well, aside from menses and having a baby, there's other things that can break the fast too. But 3 conditions must apply. Number 1, you have to know that whatever that thing was broke the fast. If you didn't know it broke the fast, then you keep on fasting. You see how merciful Allah is? If you did not know that eating something will break the fast, then it's okay. Your fast is okay. Also, you have to be aware of what you're doing and not have forgotten that it was fasting. This website's been around since 1986. What do I do every year? My old students who've been coming here since 1986, what do I do every Ramadan? Before you used to hear me do it. Now, since I started Zoom 2 years ago, you see me. What do I do every Ramadan? I'll sit here and start my class, and what do I do? Anybody?
Drink your Starbucks.
I'll sit here and start drinking my Starbucks. Last year, it was Big Mouth. She said, Sister Layla, we fasted, and what you doing drinking your Starbucks? Oh, every year. Sometimes, you know, it's hard to break. That's how you know that something is a habit. And I'm an OCD person. Since I suffer with OCD, I have to do things the same way. I have the same routine. I follow the same routine every day. Every day, my routine now is get up, exercise, clean the house, take a shower, put on my clothes, take Jayla to work. On the way back from work, get a Starbucks, come home, log in on the internet, sit here and see what's going on and drink my Starbucks. It's a habit. So sometimes, you know, during the first week of Ramadan, it always happens. The first week of Ramadan is when most of us forget and we'll end up eating something or drinking something out of habit, not because we need it. It's just my habit to sit here with my Starbucks. And I'm like, God, I did it again. But is my fast broken? No. The simple fact that you forgot, you take that Starbucks, put it in the refrigerator, and you keep on fasting. And Allah will accept your fast. Y'all see how merciful Allah is? Do I have to make that day up? No, because I forgot. Remember, the pen is lifted. You know, Allah does not hold us accountable for the things we forgot. If you honestly forgot it, Allah doesn't hold you accountable. And that's based on the supplication that the companions made. The companions went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him to ask Allah to not hold us accountable for our thoughts and to not hold us accountable for the things that we forget. And Allah answered that and said, I will not hold you accountable for the thoughts you have, because he used to hold the Jews accountable for their thoughts. He said, and I will not hold you accountable for the things you forgot. So we can thank the companions for that. So if you forgot, you know, you keep on fasting. And then the third condition is you were not forced to do it. You were not forced to do it. Allah does not hold us accountable for anything that we are forced to do. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so if those three conditions don't exist, I mean, if any of those three conditions do exist, then your fast is not broken. If they don't exist, then it is broken. Everybody understand? And I'm going to remind you of this, you know, when we're fasting. So what breaks the fast? The things that break the fast entail expulsion of bodily fluids, such as having sexual relations with your husband or your wife or with yourself. And I have children listening, so parents, you can explain to them what that means. To have sexual relations with your husband, your wife, or yourself, that breaks the fast. Please explain to the children what with yourself means, parents, because every year I get at least 3 children, 3 teenagers who will send me the emails asking me about what they did with themselves and is their fast broken. The answer is yes. That breaks the fast. Wet dreams do not break the fast. I repeat, having a wet dream does not break the fast, but to have relations with yourself, that does break the fast, okay? Also, menstruation. This is the bodily fluid of blood that breaks the fast. And also, anytime we ingest something into our stomach, that breaks the fast. So intercourse, menstruation, and to eat or drink something, and it goes into our stomach. Anything that we put in our mouth and goes into our stomach will break the fast. Okay? But there's an exception to this. The things that go down our stomach naturally, like saliva, does not break the fast. Every human being and animal, every living animal, human and animal, we have saliva. God, Allah made us where we're always swallowing. Cats swallow, cows swallow, humans swallow, animals swallow, humans swallow. So swallowing your saliva does not break your fast. And these, to me, that's a ridiculous question. But every year I get a smart aleck. I get a smart aleck that comes in this website and tries to be a smart aleck, and they think it's a joke. I swallowed my spit. Well, guess what? You can swallow your spit all day. We swallow it all day anyway. That does not break your fast. But to put something in your mouth and swallow it, that does break your fast. Does everybody understand? So to ingest, what does the word ingest mean? Ingest means to put something in my mouth and swallow it down my esophagus and to my stomach. That breaks your fast. So saliva is not ingesting. Saliva happens naturally. That's not ingesting. Okay? But if you put it in your mouth, that's ingesting. So When we talk about ingesting, what does that mean? It doesn't have to be food. It can also be medicine, pills. Like in this picture, this woman here is taking her medicine. You cannot take medicine like this when you are fasting, because this entails putting it in your mouth and swallowing it down into your stomach. That will break your fast. Does everybody understand? So this is why when you're fasting, if you're a person like me, I take medication, and I also have to take vitamins for the rest of my life because of my bariatric surgery, and I do not retain protein. I take vitamin C every day and I will be for the rest of my life. I take vitamin B12 for the rest of my life. I take vitamin D for the rest of my life. I take vitamin K for the rest of my life. I take zinc, all these vitamins. I take about 10 different vitamins in high dosage. I have to arrange my schedule to take them be in the middle of the night, which is what I do. I take my vitamins in the middle of the night, and I take my medicine like my hay fever medicine, my Zyrtec, my GERD pills, my Nexium. I take that before Fajr. So for those of you who are on different medicines that you have to put in your mouth and swallow, you arrange your schedule to take them before you fast and upon breaking the fast. That's what I do. My vitamins are when I break the fast. My other medications for GERD and all that is before the fast. Okay? Also, another type of thing that would break the fast, if you are taking injections of nourishing substances. Say, for example, my doctor, and I don't have to take it now. When I first, in fact, not even first, just 5 years ago. 5 years ago, my immune system was so bad, I had to get vitamin C injections. My doctor had to inject vitamin C into my stomach. Vitamin C is a nourishing injection. That would break the fast, but thank God I don't have to take them. I took them for a year, and I'm glad I'm done with that. I take vitamin C pills now, okay? So any type of nourishing injection, that will break your fast, okay? Also, blood transfusions. Blood transfusions. If you have to have a blood transfusion, your fast is broken, because blood entails putting into the body nourishing substances. The blood is what contains all that nourishing substance. So if you have to have a blood transfusion, say you're like me, anemic, I refuse to give it. I was supposed to have a blood transfusion a few months ago. I'm not doing it. I'm taking a lot of iron. They put me on all this iron that I'm taking. But if I had to go for a blood transfusion because of my anemia, I wouldn't be able to fast, because that breaks the fast. Okay? So blood transfusions or any type of injections of vitamins and nourishment, that would break your fast. Does everybody understand? Okay. However, injections that are not given to replace food, but instead they are a medicine, this does not break the fast, such as penicillin. If you had to take a penicillin shot, that does not break the fast, because penicillin is a medication. It's not food substance. Or say you take insulin, and Brother Rashid, Imam Rashid, this is why you can fast. I got my imams in here too. Imam Rashid from Atlanta. Imam Rashid, this is why you can fast, because insulin, this is an insulin injection. This is not food. It's not a food substance. It's not vitamin C or anything like that. It's a medication. That does not break your fast. Also, vaccinations. If you have to take the COVID booster If you have to take the COVID shot, or they want to give you the flu vaccination, or you just have to take a vaccination, the vaccinations of medicine do not break the fast, whether they put it through the muscle or through the skin. Does everybody understand? The only type of injections that break the fast is if it is food injections, like I used to get with that vitamin C. But now, thank God, I don't have to get, I hated that. It made my stomach weird. Okay, but now I can take the vitamins. Okay, but insulin, vaccinations, penicillin shot, what you call it, the kind I love that makes me able to walk, steroid injection, a steroid injection, that does not break the fast, because this is medicine. This is not food. Everybody understands? See how merciful Allah is. As you can see, very few things break the fast. A lot of you will be able to fast, and fasting is good for you. Fasting is healthy. You'll feel better during Ramadan than any other time of the year. Now, what about kidney dialysis? This is different. Kidney dialysis, this entails taking blood out of your body, cleaning it, and putting it back in with chemicals and nourishing substances. They're putting sugar in it and salts in it. This means you cannot fast. If you have to have a kidney dialysis breaks the fast, because they're putting sugar and salts and vitamin C and all type of things that you need into your blood. So for kidney dialysis, guys, if you have to get your kidneys dialysis, you can't fast for that day. Okay? Because that entails putting food in you, not medicine. Okay? What about this? Eye drops. There's a lot of Muslims like myself who wear contact lenses. And they think, oh, Sister Layla, I have to use saline solution, contact lenses. Eye drops do not break your fast. Some of you might have had cataract surgery, or like Anissa had, and Anissa had that other surgery to restore your eyes, and they tell you to take eye drops. Eye drops does not break the fast. You can still fast and take your eye drops. That's not food, because eye drops is not food. It's a medicine. And it's not going into your stomach anyway. It's going into the eye. It's not going into the bloodstream. It's going into the eye. Also, eardrops. Eardrops do not break the fast. Having your tooth pulled. In fact, dental work, even if they have to give you a shot of morphine, that does not break the fast, because that shot of morphine is a medicine. It is not food. Okay? So dental work, if you're getting your teeth clean, you're getting a tooth pulled, they whitening your teeth and all that, that stuff does not break your fast, as long as you're not sitting there deliberately, intentionally trying to eat toothpaste. And I don't know why anybody want to eat it, but even if it slips down your throat accidentally, it doesn't break your fast, because the law doesn't hold us accountable. The pen is lifted for the accidents, the mistakes we make. So you can still keep your dental appointment. You can still, in fact, brushing your teeth does not break your fast. This is another misconception that a lot of, I hate to say it, but I'm going to speak the truth. We have some trifling Muslims out there. We have some trifling people that don't like to brush their teeth. Brushing your teeth does not break your fast. Using toothpaste does not break the fast. Using mouthwash does not break the fast. Using a toothbrush, Oral-B, none of that stuff breaks the fast. In fact, the Prophet used to brush his teeth all the time when he fasted. And he said, because he didn't want to stand before his Lord with bad breath. The Prophet used to brush his teeth all the time. If he were living today, he'd be brushing it and using floss and using tooth polish and gargling. None of this stuff breaks your fast, even if it accidentally goes down your throat. It does not break the fast, people. Don't be nasty and trifling. Okay? Also, for the asthmatic people like myself, puffers. Puffers used for asthma do not break the fast. Say, for example, you're fasting and you have an asthma attack. So you get your puffer and spray it in your mouth. That does not break your fast because it's oxygen. It is not food. So you can use your inhaler. You can also take a breathing treatment. Breathing treatment is air. It's not food. It's not food going into your stomach or blood. Okay, y'all see how easy it is to fast. Okay. Also, nose drops. Say you have allergies like me and Sister Isra, and you have to shoot that nose thing in your nose. That does not break your fast. Nasal sprays do not break the fast. Eye drops, ear drops, nose drops, none of that stuff breaks the fast. You can still use them and still fast. Also, the only peel that you can put in your mouth is if you have angina. These are people that suffer with coronary arrest, heart problems. They take tablets and put them underneath their tongue to treat angina. This does not break the fast either. Also, when you're fasting, you can go to your gynecologist. Taking a douche does not break the fast. The doctor putting a scope inside your vagina to look inside, that does not break the fast. Even using the fingers to open the vagina so he can look inside, that does not break the fast. So for you women out there, if you have an appointment to see your gynecologist, you can fast and go see it. Lay there and let him do whatever he got to do, because that is not entailing eating anything, and that is definitely not sexual intercourse. So if you have a gyno appointment and he wants to give you a look up inside there, you spread him and all that, that does not break your fast. Do y'all see how beautiful Islam is? We just have to learn it. Okay? Also, an IUD. To insert an IUD does not break the fast. A catheter being inserted into your urethra. Say you're in the hospital and they want to give you a catheter, that does not break the fast. Dental fillings, tooth extractions, cleaning the teeth using a siwak or toothbrush, none of this breaks the fast. Rinsing, gargling, applying topical mouth sprays, none of that breaks the fast, guys. Also, gas. Say, for example, the doctor want to give you a coloscopy, whatever you call it, and they give you that gas to put you in twilight. That does not break the fast either. Medications absorbed through the skin, such as creams and patches, do not break the fast. Now, Ramadan is the month of change. Ramadan is the month of new beginnings. There's a lot of Muslims out there, male and female, that smoke cigarettes. Cigarette smoking is haram, haram, haram. It's the same as drinking alcohol because it intoxicates. Why is it that a person can't stop smoking? Because you are intoxicated by the nicotine. You need to quit smoking. And Ramadan is the best time because guess what? Go out and buy the Nicoderm patch. The Nicoderm patches do not, I repeat, Do not break the fast. So by the end of Ramadan, if you follow the Nicoderm program, you will be cigarette free. I know it works. I know many Muslims who quit and kicked the habit during Ramadan and they never went back to smoking. That Nicoderm patch helps because it takes away the withdrawal. It gives you the ability to fast and move past those cigarettes. After the first 5 days, you won't even be craving a cigarette. So this is a good time to kick that nasty habit. Go out and buy some Nicoderm patches. They do not break the fast. Any type of medication that you absorb through the skin does not break the fast. That also includes fingernail polish and stuff. Believe it or not, there are some Muslims who are so stupid that they think that wearing makeup and wearing fingernail polish breaks the fast. Who told you that? We don't eat the makeup. And we definitely don't eat fingernail polish. None of this stuff breaks the fast. You guys will see me in my makeup every day, even during the month of Ramadan. Okay, none of that stuff breaks the fast. Okay, biopsies. Say, for example, you have to go to the doctor and he wants to take a biopsy or a sample from your liver or a sample from any part of your body. That does not break the fast either, guys. Y'all see how merciful Allah is? To take a biopsy, it does not break the fast. Also, if the doctor wants to give you a gastroscopy, he wants to go inside your stomach, you know, that does not break the fast either. None of this does. So again, guys, there's no excuse for Muslims to not fast unless they're suffering with a chronic illness that's preventing them from fasting, or they are an elderly person that can't fast. Fasting is a normal part of life. You can fast and continue on with your daily activities. The only thing that you can't do is eat or drink anything. You don't eat and you don't drink until from dawn until Maghrib, from Fajr till Maghrib. But you can carry on with your other medications as long as it's not pills. You take your pills in the morning and take your pills at night. That's the only thing that you have to do. Okay? Also, I want everyone here to understand, anyone who deliberately, intentionally eats or drinks during the day without a valid excuse, you have committed a major sin. And you have to repent to Allah and you have to make up for that fast later on. And if you break your fast with something haram, such as cigarettes, this makes the sin even worse. And you have to do some sincere repenting. So like I said, if for you smokers, you better kick the habit and go out and buy you some Nicoderm patches now and get ready to start using them so you can come out of Ramadan a new, better person. Okay? And again, if you forget, because this happens to most of us, the first week or two, you're going to forget and eat something. If you forget and remember, then just continue with your fast because that food or drink came from Allah, meaning that you must have needed it. And you don't have to make that day up. And also, if you work as a fireman or a policeman or an FBI agent and you have to save someone's life, you can break the fast, but you have to make that day up later. Say there's a fire and a house is on fire, you have to go in there and rescue the people. You can go ahead and break your fast, but make that day up after Ramadan. And you don't pay a ransom, you make the day up. Say you're a policeman and there's a drug deal going on and people are shooting. You have to break your fast so you can handle yourself with that gun and not make no mistakes defending the public. You can break that fast, but you have to make that day up. And for those husbands and wives and teenagers that have sexual relations while fasting, well, your fast is broken, whether you ejaculate or not. And you have to repent from that. And you have to make that day up later and offer expiation for it. So if you're a young couple and you can't control your desires, the work is gonna come from you sisters. Because men are weak to women. Women have the upper hand over them. If you know that your husband can't control himself and he's gonna wanna have relations, you tell him, get out. At Fajr, you put him out the house and you tell him, don't come back until Maghrib. Go to work, and when you get off from work, go hang out at the mosque and read some Quran and get some deeds for us and come home afterwards, okay? So that's how we handle that. If you got a husband that can't control his desires or you can't control yours, put him out. Don't allow him in the house until the sun sets. And for you teenagers, understand that there's no intercourse with yourself. This is a major sin. You better keep yourself busy. When you get those desires, read the Quran or even go play Xbox. Do something that's going to take your mind off of that, because you cannot do that until after Maghrib. Everybody understand that. This is a major, major sin. We have a hadith whereas a man came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam complaining because he had sexual relations with his wife instead of fasting. The Prophet asked him, well, do you have a slave that you can set free? The man said, no. The Prophet said, well, can you fast for 2 consecutive months? The man said, no. The Prophet said, do you have something to feed 60 poor people with? The Prophet said, no. So the Prophet gave him some fruit and said, go give this away. So that's the expiation. Not only do you have to repent to Allah for having sexual relations when you should have been fasting, but you have to also give in charity. That's the expiation. And times are hard. We ain't got no money to give away in charity because you're really throwing it away. So again, don't put yourself in these bad situations. If you couples can't control yourself, man, go to work and then take your behind to the mosque. Don't come home until Maghrib. Children, don't even think about it. Get busy. Come to my classes, because I'm going to keep my classes going every day, all Ramadan. Come listen to the Layla Nashiba. Read some Quran. Go play a little bit of Xbox, but keep your hands off of yourself, okay, until the sun sets. Everybody clear on that? This is a major sacrilege. But I want you husbands and wives to understand, I got my new couples here, like Brother Tarek and Yasmin. Kissing your wife does not break the fast. But again, if you guys are newlyweds and young, like my little Tarek and Yasmin, if it's going to make y'all want to go other places with it, don't kiss. Hugging does not break the fast. Embracing does not break the fast. Touching your wife does not break your fast. It doesn't break your wudu. It doesn't make you impure or any of that. And you can also look at your wife. And again, for the teenagers, wet dreams do not break the fast. Remember, Allah does not hold us accountable for what we did not intentionally do. Wet dreams happen in your sleep. You had nothing to do with it. You get up, take a ghusl, and call it a day and keep fasting. Also for husbands and wives, Delaying the ghusl does not break the fast either. Say you and your wife have sexual relations and y'all don't wake up until after Maghrib. It's okay. Take your ghusl, make your Maghrib, and you keep fasting. Also, having a discharge does not break the fast. Nosebleeds does not break the fast. A cut finger does not break the fast. Vomiting, Antar, does not break the fast unless you make yourself do it on purpose. So if you pregnant women, y'all should be fasting too. If you throw up, so what? Keep it moving. It does not break the fast. Also, to show how merciful Allah is, women can taste the food while they're cooking, just don't swallow it. So you can take the sauce, put it in your mouth, and then spit it out. And again, mucus from your head or mouth or sinus does not break the fast. I don't want any questions saying, dear Sister Layla, I swallowed my mucus. So, welcome to being a human. Mucus is not food. You keep it moving. You still fasting, okay? Inhaling perfume. That doesn't break your fast either. You're not eating it. Smells and vapor does not break the fast, people. How would it break your fast? You ain't eating it. You smelling. Keep it moving. Gum ulcers do not break the fast. If your gums are bleeding, because a lot of Muslims have gingivitis, because a lot of Muslims, especially from the Muslim countries, you got a problem taking care of your teeth. You need to go take care of them. But guess what? Your bleeding gums do not break your fast. Keep it moving, okay? Also, smoking cigarettes do. We already talked about that. And again, relations with yourself do. So these are just a few of the things that I wanted to remind you guys of as to what breaks the fast and what doesn't. And don't worry, we're going to talk about these things again each day during the month of Ramadan. I'm going to be here to help you get through your fasting. I'm going to remind you as to what breaks the fast, what doesn't. And even though I go over this, I still get these same questions every year about mucus and perfume and makeup and smells. I mean, come on, guys. Fasting just simply means to go without eating or drinking or having sexual relations from Fajr until Maghrib. That's all fasting is. You know, you can live your life, go to the doctor, go to the dentist, take a shower, brush your teeth, comb your hair, just continue on with your life. You just ain't eating anything. You're just not drinking anything. Okay, so we're going to stop right here. Inshallah, if you guys have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and type them on the screen. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, and I see my thing went out. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Any questions or comments?